Hello guys, it's me Butterfly Spirit 314. So guys, tonight I had the pleasure of going to a chair dancing class. And yes, I made it all the way through the class. Surprisingly, I was able to get through it. So in this video, guys, I'm going to be answering some questions about the chair dancing class that I took, some questions that you guys may actually have about the chair dancing class that I attended. And I'm just going to kind of just go through some of the things I think you guys may have questions about, just to kind of keep myself on track and not to kind of ramble on and stuff. So, anyway, for starters, just to kind of give you guys a rundown. So, I booked the chair dancing class at another pole studio. So, not the studio that I take pole dancing classes at, but at another pole dancing studio. At this studio that I ended up booking the chair dancing class at, I did take pole dancing classes there a few years ago, but then I stopped taking classes there. Um, and the reason why was because I kind of felt like the pole dancing classes were a bit fast, and I really wanted them to have like a series of classes where I can kind of build up and learn pole dancing. But I didn't like the fact that they switched the instructors all the time. And there wasn't really any building on of like the skills like it would be in the pole series. And whenever they offered like the intro to pole series, then basically they would like the series would fill up so fast I wouldn't even be able to get into it. Also, the price was a factor too. So that was something at that time that, kind of a couple of barriers that kind of prevented me from jumping into the series at that studio a few years ago. So let's get into talking about the chair dancing class. So I'm going to talk about first my first impression of the pole dance studio. So, like I said, I visited that studio in the past before, and I took pole dancing classes there a few years ago. Um, Coming back to the studio, I felt more confident this time walking into the studio, specifically because I've been taking pole dancing classes, and with me taking pole dancing classes and stuff, um, then I just have this added level of confidence, like where have been doing pole for, um, it'll be, I think, like a year in July. So, you know, I have confidence in knowing that my body is strong and that I'm able to do things in pole and, progress in pole versus in the past when I first started taking classes at that studio that I visited today. I didn't feel like I was making much progress, even though I took like 8 classes, like beginner pole level classes there. So my first impression was pretty much that it looked the same to me and everything. They had the same, coat of paint on the walls. The poles were different though. The poles were arranged differently than how I remembered them being when I was there and stuff. So that was different. Um, and the bathroom, it was in the same place. I forgot where the bathroom was. Actually had to ask somebody like, "Hey, where's the bathroom?" Because I didn't know where it was. And I also found out they had another room to the studio that I did not know about. I was like, "Oh," because when I was taking classes there, I did not know. I knew where the bathroom was, but I didn't know that they had another room that was associated with the studio. And another thing about my first impression was that I was pretty shocked because there was more students in the class than I thought there would be. I thought it was just going to be me and another student and then the instructor. But as it turns out, there were 6 people in my class, including me. So that was a huge shocker. I did not expect that at all. I just really did not. So pretty much the vibe was pretty good. I really enjoyed the vibe of the class, and I thought the vibe was is pretty good. I mean, it was pretty comfortable and everything like that. I was a little confused at first because I'm gonna get into like the next part, um, like the my class expectations versus reality. But I was expecting like there to just be a class of two, but turns out there was a class of like six people, including myself. So that was surprising, you know. Um, when I came in, I thought that the people that were there, I thought they were finishing up a class and that they were leaving. But that's not what happened. So let's talk about the class expectations versus the reality of the chair dancing class. So, in terms of the class expectations, so I went based off of what the description of the class said. So, I thought we were going to be doing pole dancing, which is why I walked in with confidence. And then I thought, we were going to be doing, of course, chair dancing and floor work and stuff. I thought we were going to be kind of breaking it up. Like I basically thought in the chair dance routine, we'd have like a couple of pole moves, then we'd incorporate, some floor work, and then end up, doing a little bit of chair dance. That's what I thought. That is not what happened. The reality is that um the reality was that there was no pole dancing involved in the class, and there was floor work and there was chair dancing, but there was no pole. Okay, none. There wasn't any. So I was kind of felt like a fish out of water because I like every bit of this was new to me. I thought at least I'd have pole dancing to hold on to, and I can show like, hey, I've been doing pole dancing. Because I took classes with the instructor of the chair dancing classes before. So I took pole dancing classes with her in the past, and I guess I wanted her to see like, hey, I've made progress and stuff, and maybe to talk about that I'm taking classes in another studio, hey, see my progression, type of thing. But yeah, they didn't have pole in there, so I didn't feel the need to really talk about pole because it wasn't a part of the chair dancing class. The reality is that we spent the chair dancing class pretty much. Um, the instructor had a routine that she wanted us all to learn, and we did that chair dance routine um, along with music. I think it was a song by Missy Elliott, I think, that we were doing the chair dance routine to. And the chair dancing routine was new to all of us, so everybody was new to it. It wasn't like, one person, like, it wasn't like some people knew it and some people didn't. Everybody was learning the routine um, basically at the same time, and everybody's levels of athleticism was different. So, everybody, like, the different portions of it, different people struggled with different parts of it, you know. And I am going to be posting a couple of videos of myself in the chair dancing class so you guys can see me doing the chair dancing. So you are going to get a chance to do that. I remember that I said I was going to show you guys, so you're going to get a chance to see me in the chair dancing. The video wasn't, one of the videos from the front view of me chair dancing wasn't as great, but anyway, hey, I gave it my all, and at least I was able to keep up with everybody, so that was good. And I had it. I laughed a few times because I was having fun, and I was like, I don't have to be perfect. I'm just gonna try to do this and wing it if I have to. So that's pretty much what I did. Let's see, number three. Um, what did chair dancing feel like? Oh my gosh, what did chair dancing feel like? Chair dancing felt, for me, it felt confusing because the movements in chair dancing were so quick that like there was a whole lot going on in that routine. There was a whole lot, okay? And it was confusing at first because I really did not expect the routine to be like that. And there is one part of the chair dancing routine where we had to balance on the chair, and I didn't do well with that at all. I really did not. So I would say I was confused when I was doing it. Um, it was a little overwhelming because there was a lot of moving parts going on. The music was great, but just doing it was like it was pretty much like you don't have any, there was no handouts on how to do this routine. You just, when it comes to it, you just had to follow along with everybody else. Okay, that's what you have to do. In dance, whether this be ballet or pole or whatever, you learn by watching other people do it and by watching the instructor do it, and then you try to do it, and that's how you learn, you know. And it's not something, I mean, you're told what to do and shown what to do, but being shown what to do doesn't mean you're going to be able to do the routine flawless, all right? It'll take you some time to learn the routine. Luckily, I was able to figure out the routine, even though I wasn't perfect at it, but hell, I gave it a good ass try. I think we did the routine like uh, maybe 5 or 6 times, I think, probably 6 times in total. We were going to do it again, but the instructor was like, okay, everybody's wrung out, so let's go ahead and try to cool it down. So, yeah, that's what chair dancing felt like. It was confusing and overwhelming, and it was fun. It was fun. But it was a lot to take in, especially for the first chair dancing class I've ever taken. So that's what it felt like to me. Um, but like I said, it was fun. You know, it was something fun to do on Friday, on a Friday night anyway. Okay, so you guys may be asking like, well, what were my thoughts while I was chair dancing? My thoughts were like, wow, you know, the instructor makes this routine seem so flawless. Like, look how great she is at this routine. And I'm also seeing like, you know, one of the students in my class who just like seemed to flawlessly just get it like that. Um, for me, you know, when I was thinking about it, like I feel like I was thinking too much about the routine. Like I really was thinking hard about the movements and thinking like, oh my gosh, am I doing this right? Let me try to match the instructor's movements. I don't want to get left behind. Okay, I'll just wing it. you know. I didn't end up asking any questions or anything like that in the class. I felt a little embarrassed to ask any questions, you know. But the instructor, she was really nice about stuff, so it's okay. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Um, you know, man, I wish I would be able to balance and do this chair dance trick on this chair like other people. You know, I wish I could do that and everything. Um, but ultimately, I just listened to my body and basically did what made me feel comfortable and didn't push myself beyond the edge or anything like that. So that was one thing that I did do was that. In case you're wondering, the reason I got these like line here and a line here on my arm is because this is where my band-aid was, where I got my tetanus shot, and I took off the band-aid before I went to my cheer dancing class, just in case you're wondering. All right, so let's see. Man, that chair dance class tired me out. Um, you guys may be wondering, was the chair dance routine hard to learn? Um, well, at first I think I'm gonna say I was kind of intimidated by it because I was like, oh my gosh, was it right for me to sign up for this class? Like, because when I seen the instructor do it, I was like, oh my goodness. Like, I was able to get through the warm up just fine, but when it came to like the routine, I was like, am I gonna be able to do this? Like, am I gonna be able to like? And going back to like my expectation versus reality, I was thinking, okay, we're gonna do like a simple routine, learn some basic chair dance movements and stuff, maybe to some music or something, kind of like how I think about pole dance. Well, the chair dance was way, way more. The routine intimidated me, but I was able to learn it. And through me actually doing the chair dance routine, I actually realized that, the core strength that I've developed was helpful to me being able to do the routine. Because if I hadn't been working on my core and, if I wasn't working on, that class tired me out. If I wasn't working on like my leg strength and stuff and my arm strength, I don't think I would have been able to do some of the things in there. Um, so it really was something. I also um, felt like I still need to work on my leg strength and stuff because I feel like, that and my core strength are going to need to be um, kind of ramped up a little bit more in order for me to be able to do more chair dance. I will say chair dance does work the hell out of your core, so you want to make sure you're good with that and you're working on your core strength. And then also, um, you also want to make sure you're working on your legs and your shoulders and stuff too. You want to make sure you're doing that. You're definitely going to need your legs because you're going to need to be your hips are going to need to be flexible. Your hip flexors are going to need to be flexible to be able to do some of the movements in chair dance. So you're going to that's something that I learned. So my hip flexors are not very flexible. So that's something I need to work on, which is why I'm going to be doing leg exercises and stuff like that to help me. Let's see. Let's see. Another question you guys may have is, how do you feel you chair dance versus other students? I feel like I was the thinker in the group. I feel like I was the person that was basically more in my head about what I was doing than just relaxing and going with it. Because I kept being like, oh my gosh, am I doing this right? You know, should I be doing this differently? Man, I wish I could do this as fluid as this person. But the thing is, I don't know that person's athletic background, so I don't know, because there was one girl in the class, she was really good at it, very good. Another thing too, there was a guy in our class actually. So it was five of us girls, and then there was one guy in the class, and you know, he wanted to learn chair dancing too. And I got to tell you, it's definitely something where you're gonna break up a sweat. Okay, within the first, I'd say the first time we did the routine, everybody was pretty much sweating the first time we did the routine because there was that much that went into it. Okay, and throughout the class, we all had to have like drinks of water and take breaks because it was that involved. There was a lot going on in that routine. And there was stuff added to the routine as we went on. So yeah, it was something. Um, you guys may have a question about like, um, am I glad I brought my knee pads? Yes. I'm glad I brought my knee pads because we spent time over and over on our knees to begin the routine. And if I didn't have knee pads, I think my knees would have been suffering. So I'm so glad I actually had knee pads. And even if they were from Walmart, hell, they still worked beautifully. They protected my knees. They did what they were supposed to do. And I'm very, very, very happy I got them. Because I think that if you don't have knee pads, because the instructor even said it too. I don't even think it was in the description. I don't even think it was. I don't even think it was written in there. But the instructor was like, "Okay, you guys can go get your knee pads." And I just happily went and got my knee pads. Like, yep, I got my knee pads. I was for real. I was like, "Yep, I got my knee pads, baby. I got them." You know, I got them, So I was real happy about that. Like I seriously was, very much. Um, but yeah, I did kind of, wish I did, I felt like I wish I was more flexible as other students and stuff. I kind of felt like, man, I wish I was. But I understand my journey is different than theirs. The only person, so there were people who who understood the routine. Um, like there were people who kind of got the routine, like, and learned it faster than everybody else. Um, and the reason I bring this up is you guys may be asking was there anybody who was advanced in the class? Well, the instructor, she was very flexible. She was very strong. She was able to do the movement so fluidly and so beautifully, and just carried off like nothing. She didn't even have to think about it, you know. But for us students, yeah, I don't think anybody thought about it as much as I did, but I did. And I'm gonna tell you, you will be moving around a lot when it comes to chair dancing. You will be moving around a lot. Okay. Yes, we took breaks, but yeah, I went through my entire bottle of water. Okay, that's how much we were moving around, and it was hot. I was sweating. My knee pads, when I took them off, once class was over, they were sweaty. Okay, so yeah, we was working hard. We were working up a sweat for real. I felt like I was definitely getting my cardio in that. For real. Um, I worked up such a sweat that by the time I walked out, it was interesting because I walked outside and I felt warm and comfortable, and everything. And I got in my car, I was comfortably warm. And it literally took like I drove to the grocery store, which was like 20 minutes away from it was 20 minutes away. And when I got to the grocery store and I got out of the car, it dawned on me the fact that it was cold outside. That's how much I was warmed up in class, to the point where I walked outside. I didn't even have on no coat or nothing. The temperature had dropped and everything. But yet I didn't feel the temperature dropped because basically it was because I was warmed up. My muscles were warm and everything. It was a workout, guys. Chair dancing is a workout. It definitely is. So if you're gonna take a class, expect it to be that way. Expect to be up moving around. Also expect to be moving the chair around, because that's gonna be something you're gonna be doing. Let's see. Um, Another question you guys may have is, how should someone prepare for a chair dance class? So how should someone prepare for a chair dance class? Um, I would say, um, I would say have an open mind when you go into the class. Don't think just because the if the class is booked with two people that it's only gonna be two people, you and another person, because things could change last minute and you can have people added to my class, like what happened uh, to me in my class. There were six people. Online, it said that there was like I think two people, and then I guess and then it became three people. But yeah, there was all the spots were filled with the exception of one, and there was seven spots in the class. So I'd say have an open mind. I would say expect that you're going to be doing a warm up before you even start chair dancing. I would say definitely bring definitely bring a water bottle because you're going to need water throughout the class because you're going to get hot, like I did. Let's see what else would I say. I would say even if you think you're leaving early to get to your chair dancing class, understand that the traffic that you think is over, like when it comes to rush hour, you think that that's over, at 6 o'clock. Yeah, understand that there's still gonna be traffic when you're on your way to class. So just go ahead and leave at least an hour early to give yourself time so you're not stressing out and frustrated because it's important to account for the traffic lights. Okay. Um, let's see what else. Definitely bring your knee pads to class. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Watch how other people are doing the movements as well. Um, that's all I can think about right now. Um, what would I do differently in a chair dancing class? Well, what I would do differently, well, well, what would I do differently? I would leave earlier because I thought 30 minutes was gonna be plenty of time for me to get to the studio, and it wasn't. But I still made it on time. But it was packed because the neighborhood it was in, like the studios in, it was a whole bunch of people around and going to stores and stuff. So I would definitely leave early. Another thing when it comes to chair dancing is, I would try to relax and not be all in my head when it comes to chair dancing. I would just kind of let myself watch the instructor. And also, I think another thing to do would be to record the instructor so that if I want to try to do the chair dancing routine at another date, I'll at least have a video in my phone or my computer or whatever. So that's something. Another thing that I wouldn't change is that I wouldn't change the me recording myself. What I would do is change the height at which I would do the video recordings so I can make sure you guys can see me completely doing the movements. Those are some of the things that I kind of feel, you know. But yeah, I am signed up for another chair dancing class. Woo-hoo. So I'm excited. So that class is going to be on May 9th. So I'm excited to see what happens. And then I'm going to sign up for the other two after that. Um, but yeah, other than that, that is all when it comes to my chair dancing class. And I am going to be posting YouTube shorts of the chair dancing I was doing. Thank you all for watching. Bye bye.